Whoopi Goldberg's a superhero. Wait, hold on.
And Tim, by the way, they make a pill for that. You can get it over the counter.
Oh my God.
We'll get on to, I don't know what pills we're talking about. I got a little ahead of myself. We'll talk about Whoopi Goldberg later. But hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex podcast. I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. Joining me as usual are my co-hosts, Jamie Wojcik and Tim Morse.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? Welcome to another episode of Whoopi, the Codex podcast. That was terrible. Jamie, please take it away from me.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm clicking buttons from now on. This is atrocious.
Oh my God.
Yes, we're on all the socials.
Yes, we're on all the socials, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't had the chance to do it yet, go check out the codexstation.com. Your one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet the team. Let us know what you like, don't like, and much, much more. Especially all of our socials are listed down below, so there's no reason for you to have an excuse to miss out on any of the content that we're putting out for you. Now we're good.
There we go.
Good. Yeah, we got ourselves quite an episode ahead of us. Today we will be reviewing The Brave and the Bold 197, the autobiography of Bruce Wayne. We'll be having another round of Do You Know? In the F list, a certain man, Mountain, will join it. And then, yeah, obviously we'll be talking about artworks. There's a lot going on with the Codex Station. And yeah, we'll start us off. I will start us off with some comic book news with the rundown.
Ooh.
But first, I think we should give you the rundown on our sponsor and partner, and that is Dubby Energy. Guys, go check out Dubby Energy at dubby.gg. Use the keyword codex, CODE-X, to save yourself 10% at checkout. And trust me, you do not want to miss out on these opportunities. They have coming out with new flavors. This is the best type of energy drink on the market today. All vitamins, no jitters, no crash.
I can attest to that 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Go check. They got an anime one coming out, right? Anime drink.
Something along those lines, because they just came out with Calio cream.
I don't even know what it is.
It's like a creamsicle.
Wow.
Mine's on the way.
That's amazing.
Sounds good. Yeah, but yes, everybody. So there we go. Talk about our sponsor, how to get some more energy, and we got quite a bit of comic book news today.
And we're getting into the rundown right now. Boom.
Okay, to start us off, as most of us know, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out this past weekend. And just so everybody knows, the new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania will come on Disney Plus May 17th. But with some comic book news, Power Girl, we all know her for her big, round eyes. And Power Girl Special will launch 2 new Dawn of DC titles, which will be Power Girl and
My eyes are up here.
Yeah. The Power Girl Special will set off the 2 upcoming series, Power Girl and Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville.
Yeah.
And Power Girl Special is set to come out May 30th, and the other 2 series, Power Girl and Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, are both set to come out September 5th. Speaking of DC, Jim Lee has become the president of DC. Also, Valiant has teamed up with Blackstone and Green Ronin for licensed content. And right now, what's going on with Valiant is that currently they don't have much going on, but they do have Exo Man of War Unconquered that is coming out monthly. But
I think they're only putting 1 book out a month at the moment.
Yep, and right now it is Exo Man of War, but there's a lot more to come. And that with the deal with Blackstone is that they will be releasing Bloodshot Awakening by Fred Van Lent, Shadow Man, The Abyss Stares Back by Shola Edideji, Livewire Circuit Breaker by Sarah Ruffley, and The Eternal Warrior Servants of the Dead by Ari Marmel. And then their deal with Green Ronin is that Valiant will be having an RPG game come out in 2024, and it's set to be like Green Ronin's award-winning Mutants and Masterminds RPG game.
Interesting.
So a lot coming out with Valiant, but you know who else has something coming out? And that is Whoopi Goldberg. The Change is a comic book set to come out November 28th, and it is written by Whoopi Goldberg and also with writer Jamie Paglia, and the artist is set to be Sankanimi Ekinboye. And yes, Whoopi Goldberg is going to be a superhero.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sonny just tried his hardest to get that last name correct. He even enunciated.
Wow.
I tried. I can
He was
blame it
like,
on that
these
last
are
week.
syllables.
Last week we were all a little down, so I could blame it on. If I messed up anybody's name, I'll just blame it and say, "Oh, my nose is still."
Oh, we
just
know
not
you're
There you
fine.
go.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, so that's why I messed up. Sinkanimi Ikinboy's name.
Can you
But
say
yes.
that one more time? My headset was cutting out.
No problem, man. Sinkanimi Ikinboy.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
boy.
So there you go. They are set to be making the change with Whoopi Goldberg as a superhero. And guys, what are you guys thinking about all this comic book news?
Okay, I'm jumping on this first because
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to. Spider-Man issue 25 is the most amazing issue I've ever read in my life. I'm kidding. I'm going to talk about Jim Lee becoming president of DC.
That's
and
actually good news.
yeah, and I think that's the best news that could come out of DC at the moment. The best move they can make potentially
With
over
him being
time.
unrestricted.
Yeah,
and being-
now they basically, the moon's the moon's just a start.
Yep.
It comes down to there's a lot of constraints from prior presidents of the company, and now with Jim Lee actually being, a comic, not just a comic fan, but being this artist, this legacy artist over the years, and having some sense of what comics actually have to do with, the media. I think it's just the greatest move they could have made. And I think it's just going to be led in the right direction now. Now, do I think Jeff Johns should have a higher role now? Yes. But, time will tell.
I'm excited about Jim Lee. I think that without restrictions, the man has great, innovative, and creative ideas. He can take DC in a direction that it needs to go. He can trim the fat, so to speak, and really put focus on characters that need focus. And he can shine light on characters that don't get as much attention.
Yeah.
Is Dawn of
Lee.
DC his initiative?
I believe that was the start of it. Him and Williamson.
If that's the case, man, then they are off to an amazing start because every Dawn of DC title I've read so far has been
amazing.
Wonderful. Superman is my favorite title right now. Green Arrow I just read the other day, and that was amazing too.
6 issues.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I'd love to do what they did with Poison Ivy and be like, it's going to be 6 issues, and then a day just making it ongoing.
Yeah.
But real fast, if Jim Lee, if you're listening to us, I just want to let you know you need to give A.L. Kaplan a Circuit Breaker solo series, or I'm riot. I'm serious. I'm gonna punch my screen.
Right on.
And you'll owe me a new computer and webcam. Hashtag Jim Lee listen.
Yeah, DC has been making some big moves lately. Like obviously with the side, movies like you're putting James Gunn in charge, and now making Jim Lee the president. It's big moves for DC, and because I do want to see DC succeed. I mean, look at that. Look what we're reviewing today. I mean, DC has some of the best characters in all of comics. So, I like to see some new moves.
Better than those Marvel punks.
Staying with DC for a minute, the Power Girl special launching 2 new Dawn of DC titles. I saw the DNA cover for the Power Girl with fire and ice on either side. Man, that looked amazing.
I'm excited for the fire and ice one.
I am too.
Yeah,
I remember them from the 90s when they were really big with Justice League. So.
International, I think it was.
Well, yeah, and even during the death of Superman, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one thing I wonder is why fire is green.
Fire's always been green.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that's always like.
I don't think they wanted to take over, get the whole thing with pyro and
Ice's costume is as it has been. Fire.
If Guy Gardner is not hitting on ice in one of those issues, just let you know right now, I'm gonna tear the issue up live on.
All right, man. I'm gonna want to see it.
I'm gonna buy 2 copies just so I can do it for you, Sonny.
There you go.
It might melt my heart, but get it, ice.
Yeah, DC's got a lot of good news coming right now.
Yeah, I mean, we just had Free Comic Book Day.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that the video from Tim and Dan are both coming here soon.
It'll be out tomorrow.
Yeah. If you're watching this, it's already out. But
yeah,
go check it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be going. Everyone tried. Everyone either was sick or something was going on, and not everyone could contribute at the same time. But I know they did a great job on it. So
I will tell you this: Dan's footage was really, really good. Sal's footage was great too, but Dan just kind of was right up there. And yeah, I enjoyed every bit of it. Dan and Sal, the stuff that I did with the kids, yeah, it's awesome.
yeah. By the way, real fast side note, Tim, I almost wore that shirt today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But someone's got overtime today, so they're gonna go right after. So I was like,
This was the first one I grabbed. I was like, which one do I wear?
I almost grabbed a Marvel shirt, but I'm like, no, we're reviewing, Batman. So
he
I'm like,
didn't
I
wear
grabbed the shirt,
anything.
and then I took the reason it's open is for Mountain Marko for our
There you
F
go.
today in honor of him. And we'll get onto him a little bit later, but I do want to talk more about the change by Whoopi Goldberg, and we do have a comment. Yeah, Kristen said she's already pre-ordered it.
Oh my God!
There we go. Yeah, Kristen was the one who put it in our chat, and that's when I first saw it, and I was like, "Do you want me?" Because she was talking about reviewing it, and that's when you saw me comment, and I was like, "You sure you don't want me, Jamie, and Tim to destroy it on the
Yeah.
podcast?" And then I saw other comic groups were talking about it, so it does have people talking.
I thought it was like a fake like mock-up, like they what do you call it, like the Boss Logic when he does like the trailer posters for stuff that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they did a mock-up of it. That's adorable. And then I'm like, it's actually a comic coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, Whoopi
So
needs money.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg is a controversial person anyways. So I'm not going to rush to newsstands to grab it, but I am curious what she's going to put in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell Tim's age just by that last statement. Rush to the newsstand to go get it.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
That
For us in
Goldberg.
the current times, get to your
Your
local
local
comic shop and go pick it up.
The brick and mortars.
Yeah, the brick and mortars.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
But Whoopi actually has been writing books since like 1992 or something. Like she reimagined Alice in Wonderland. But I was thinking, I'm like, can you imagine like a movie trailer for
No, I
this?
can't.
Like, dun, 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 you see Whoopi Goldberg, and she's like, let's fight. And then she's fighting, like Whoopi Goldberg's fighting, like she's destroying like 200 guys in a fist fight, and her face is bloody. She's
Oh
like,
my
that's all
God.
you got? Oh man, like the
We are having
possibilities are
too much
endless.
imagination today.
Oh yeah, was the pre-show we were talking about? One of you guys mentioned Bill Goldberg.
All the Goldbergs joining forces into one mega Goldberg.
I call on the power of the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
Undefeated wrestler Bill Goldberg, unite. Ping.
Yeah.
And then like Amy, when you were seeing the thing with Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
fusion dance for it.
oh man, there's so many possibilities of the change.
Lord.
My prediction is that the villain of the change is going to be a white man in a suit. That
Possibly.
It's gonna be a stoplight because there's a movie where she used to, I forgot what it was, but she told
Jumping
like
Jack Flash.
I don't know. She told some little girl, she's like, if you just stare at the stoplight, it'll change colors. That's the only thing I can ever remember from a Whoopi Goldberg movie.
That
I
might
thought you
be
were gonna say she
Jumpin'
like
Jack
doesn't
Flash.
stop at red lights.
Yeah, she just flies through them.
Fwah.
This is a risk.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm not excited at all. If you
Neither
can
am
tell.
I.
I'm
Kristen
excited to
is,
talk
though.
about it.
I'm more excited for Spider-Man 25. I'm just being honest.
Oh, Tim, you may have to talk about it now. Spider-Man 25. There was
Spider-Man, the entire Zeb Wells run from 1 to now is my Jared Leto. And you guys,
come on, the Ramita art is amazing.
hey, Ramita's artwork was pretty good the last issue. This issue, his
artwork was good 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, but his artwork the last issue was the best it's been since he got started with this current run of
Because
Spider.
they probably told him stop making him look like the totem from freaking Night at the Museum. Gum gum for my dum dum. Like that's exactly what he looks like.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spider-Man is my favorite character, and I effing hate the title right now, like so much.
You gotta stick with it though, bro.
I'm going to next issue, and then I'm dropping it.
No, you gotta stick it
Nope.
out like a
Nope.
real fan.
you guys actually convinced me. Now I want to check out that.
Then I guess I am not a real fan because I am not gonna have.
You gotta stick through the good and the bad.
I am I have been, and I am not going to put up with this. I feel depressed after I read every issue. I don't want to feel like that.
I don't even have to read the issue to feel that.
I'm going to get rid of it. Done.
So Tim, if you see him, Zed Wells, right?
You
Yeah.
want me to read what
you
I
see-
said in the in our messages? What I would say to that man?
See him at a Comic-Con, you know.
Yeah, butchered
How
my
do you like my
favorite character.
story? Is it your favorite Spider-Man story, young man?
I would actively not engage with him on professional courtesy alone. So.
Tim like wins like a sweepstakes there, and it's like you get the day with Zeb Wells, and he's like,
Amy, do you want this? I don't.
and then we're like, no, go. I'll
The
videotape
picture
it.
of him with his arm around Tim holding that Spider-Man 25.
Yeah.
Here's that.
Signed.
Can you sign all 5 copies of my spoiler alert cover of Amazing Spider-Man 26 that Dan reminds me of every single time in the chat?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
That was the one that you were saying is supposed to be the biggest surprise in 50 years. Right?
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
saying
Hey, remember when the biggest surprise happened in Batman? Alfred died.
Well, yeah.
You remember what the biggest surprise is? 26? Spider-Boy dies.
I hope so.
Imagine just bringing him on and he'd be like, yo, guys, what's up? And he just gets squashed by like a Celestial or something.
Ladies and
Whoopi
gentlemen,
Goldberg. She
There's
runs the red
Goldberg.
light and hits him.
there will be a more in-depth conversation this Friday on After Dark
Yes.
where I can cuss once or twice.
Yes. It's PG-13. Just like the Guardians of the Galaxy, you get one F-bomb.
You get 1 F-bomb. I'm not going to use it here.
Yeah.
All right,
You
guys,
can't.
Yeah, but that's a lot. You know, there's also is the writer's strike. I mean, it's more Hollywood stuff, but that does mean that for most
Daredevil
like,
Born
movies,
Again
TV
stopped.
shows, yeah, everything is delayed
Blade
now.
stopped.
Strange New World Season 3.
The only one that is still, what was the one that was still going that they said that they were, there was one because it was almost at the end of production. Oh, Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
They didn't stop yet.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, so everything we're all excited for. I'm sure in time, in a few months, we'll probably have like, oh, the new date for this is that day, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
so
gonna
much for that
happen.
10-year plan.
When somebody said that,
That was DC.
Yeah.
who said that movies and TV shows weren't going to be written by scabs during this time? Somebody said it. Somebody big. I can't remember. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Whoopi Goldberg, she's taking over.
Right.
She'd do better than Zeb Wells. That's for sure.
Probably art too.
Yeah. I'd
You
read
know
it.
who might do the art is Sankanimi Ekinboy.
Oh, that's amazing.
I feel like you're just like making weird sounds like Steve Carell at this point.
Just
Like, you're not even saying the
trying.
name. You're
I
just
have
like,
it
I got
written.
you know.
Sunkanimi. And the last name is Akinboye.
Okay, I
There you
believe
go.
you.
Fair enough. Moving on.
Just
Yes.
like remember, Taika Waititi.
What?
Very similar.
What was the last name?
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
What TT?
Good, talented man.
TT?
Why titty?
Yeah.
All right.
Why titty?
'Cause-
Why?
Because you got to. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that out the way, I think it's a little bit more appropriate for us to go to our works now. And Sonny, you had some type of interview going on.
It is right. Yeah. So I had an interview. Yeah. Last week, out of every, of all times that was going to happen to get sick, right? We missed the show. And I was like, oh, I got a rehearsal coming up. I got an interview. But I had this interview on a podcast called IMO, in my opinion. It should come out. They have to edit it. So it should come out maybe in about a month. But yes, it was talking about everything. And before last year, I had like an online interview. And Jimmy, you called me out. And I like that you did because we challenge each other here.
Mhm.
We make each other better. And you did say, you didn't mention the Codex podcast because I just said like, oh, I have a podcast. But I'm like, okay, this year I'm going to do something and I'm really going to push the Codex station a lot more. So I can say that I definitely did quite a bit of talking about this great Codex station we got here. Not just the Codex podcast, but I did talk quite a bit about quite a few things. And yeah, one of the things I did mention was the F list. Yeah. So
We know
Did
because
always
that was
get
the
people
Sonny Kruger
excited.
special idea.
but then when, I had to talk about the NFL Super Pro.
Oh my
Oh
god.
God! Anytime you get a chance
Yeah.
to talk about him, you take that.
You take it, yeah. But yes, that interview went good. So I was glad that I get to talk about my stuff and got to talk about our stuff at the Codex Station. And two, I'm back to writing. So I have a book called Addicted to Death that I'm You can join every night. Then
Sonny,
also,
I love the titles that you come up with. I think they are extremely creative.
thank you. Yeah, addicted to death. If you look at many of my stories, it's something death, dead.
Or it's
dead.
one word.
Yeah, the one word ones. Yeah,
Crime 2.
you forgot an S.
Dead.
What's
Yeah,
the
Dead too.
trilogy for crime?
Yeah. What's the what?
What's the trilogy for crime?
Crime
the
3.
trilogy? Oh my god.
There's actually more than 3. There goes
More
to quite a
crime.
bit. But also, I entered my short story, the comic book, that one I have on Wattpad,
Yeah.
but that's story I entered into the script to comic contest the other day, and it's the comic that Frank Jun Kim, who we have the one shot with, yeah, we came in second place, and he got his story of West Moon Chronicle from there. So
Nice.
I said, I'd give it a chance and enter my short story into that. But now there's been a lot going on with the codex station. We had quite a meeting, over a week ago, and there's been some changes. So I'm like, let's talk about it. I'll let you
Yeah.
guys take over with the changes of the codex station.
One of the biggest changes we've had so far is to the website. A lot more in depth, a lot more coming for in depth. Everyone roster complete is on there. We added the Patreon. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out yet, for a cheap cup of coffee, I finally said it right. You guys can join and get exclusive content that no one else is going to get. We've had a long, this is going almost 2 years now. And from where we started to where we are now, we're running, I think last time I counted 10 shows with everyone respectively having their own.
Yep.
We just launched the Dungeons and Dragons series, which I'm going to be doing my character creation live tomorrow, which will be out by the time you guys see this, with Tim. So that way we can have episode 0 complete. And then we'll be doing it every 2 weeks, right before Comic Character of the Week on Sundays. So that's going to be fun. We did have a show split, and I think, Tim, if you want to explain that one for everybody.
Yeah, so After Dark, ladies and gentlemen, as awesome and amazing as that is, we felt that we couldn't get everything we wanted to do in one episode. If we did, it'd be entirely too long. So we split it up. So Pulls and Hauls, which were in the beginning of After Dark, are now Comics of the Week. And then the topics is going to be reduced down to 1, and it's going to be a more in-depth conversation. So we are bringing back Breaking the Code. So everything we do on Fridays or Saturdays is still After Dark. It's Codex After Dark, but there are 2 shows that are going to get filmed live every weekend. So yeah, it's awesome. We've had 2 episodes of Comics of the Week so far, and they've been really great. We've been able to talk about titles a little more instead of just kind of breezing through things.
Yes.
And we've got a lot of good reception from it so far. So I think we're going to stick with that, and it's pretty awesome. And this weekend, we're going to be doing Breaking the Code, and Jamie's got a really good idea that I don't want to spoil. I'd rather you guys enjoy it with us while we do it.
Jamie does that sometimes.
so
like
yeah,
all the work I have to put on myself on these shows.
I know
More.
It's great, and D&D is going to be amazing. I've already got the storyline plotted out. I already know what I'm going to do, and yeah, the characters that were created: Dan's character, Sal's, and Kristen's, and then Jamie, when you do yours. Sonny, are you going to do one or no? You're on air, so
did you make me a hot, cool, tough guy?
Negative.
I put that in the comments.
You're a wheezy berry man.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like penguin, but
oh my god.
No.
Okay, well, then I might just have to be a Barry Manilow type guy. And
there you go. But yeah,
I can't live without you.
I'm excited. It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, and then, well, might as well break the news now. Coming in the next month, we are going to be reviving one more show, and we do have a new member of the Codex team. I'm telling you, it's the last one.
Until the next one.
Until some girl comes in and is like, I can outdo all of you. And I'm like, yes, you can. Join.
I'm like, no, you can't.
And then she beats Sunny.
Cover your shirt up.
We have a do you know off, and she annihilates Sunny.
Oh my god, right off the way.
For his spot in the podcast.
Her first question will be, Sunny, what's your birthday and birth year? Wrong.
Yeah. As soon as Sunny hesitates, point to Gryffindor. But as I was saying, we do have one person coming on, and that is Uncle Gary. He is going to be bringing back decoding panels because of his
Mm-hmm.
wealth of comic book knowledge and storylines. The guy just broke 58,000 comics.
And
Ooh,
theater
dang.
experience too.
Yes,
So
the theater.
I studied at Yardale.
Yeah. God, he was alive when Shakespeare was.
Right there, you go. Yeah,
No.
Uncle Gary's older than me.
I know, but the guy's bigger than all of us. So
Yeah, his 57-foot tall pythons. Yeah.
yeah, God, that man took his vitamins, and I don't know who he prayed to, but I need to know. But yeah, we've had a lot going on. There's a lot more coming, and I know I always say that, but you guys don't understand how much we sit back on our days off or when at 2-3 in the morning. Yeah, 2-3 in the morning. Now I called Tim at 7 my time, 8 his, and I'm like, hey, I got some ideas I want to run by. He's like, let me grab my coffee first, and I'm like, no, we need to talk.
You guys don't get days off from the codex station.
We never.
You guys don't.
I don't.
I'm always doing something.
Yeah, constantly always doing something, whether it's graphic, the most minute detail to the biggest one, or looking into new ventures for us. The one thing I do want to say is the biggest thing I'm proud of right now is our boots on the ground shows. From on the spots to free comic book days to collections. You guys will be seeing some more collection videos. I'm currently looking into getting one. The whole team is working towards doing something like that so we can showcase it. So
Wes just got the shipment from CGC in today. So
my Power Rangers better be in there.
It is not. I think that's going out in the next shipment, but this has got stuff that he's going to showcase. He's going to record tonight or tomorrow, and then it'll go up next week.
Got it.
Good find. You guys got that flea market with that X-Men issue with Ghost Rider.
Dude.
But you guys passed up that Marvel Presents with Cable and Ghost Rider. I was like,
I called him and told him that. I was like, how did you pass that up? And he was like, dude, there's so much to choose from. There's some good stuff, but
you only have so much cash, and they don't take cards at flea markets.
That's why you just bring the wad with.
That's why I asked the guy. I was like, do you take cash or card? He's like, I don't take no card. I take cash. I was like, Wes, I don't have any cash. He's like, I got you. All right. So I only spent 6 of Wes's dollars.
Yeah.
Wes
More of that will be coming up soon. Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of good stuff. But you know what else is really good and bad at the same time?
Bad stuff.
The F list. And Sonny, let's get into who that is this week.
That is right. His name is Michael, but he's more known as Mountain Marko. And Jamie's got some pictures to show us.
I can't wait.
There is. That's a more newer one of Mountain Marko. He's working for Norman Osborn, Norman's Hammer. And there we go. It's probably the most known cover with Mountain Marko. And look at what he says. I killed Spider-Man, the Vulture, Doc Ock. None of those guys ever could, but I did. Me, Mountain Marko. And there we go. There's the first appearance of Mountain Marko.
Why does he look like Mel Gibson?
He really does. He looks like Mel Gibson. And he's got we see the chest hanging out. That's why I got mine out for him.
Like, I feel like this is like Lethal Weapon versus Amazing Spider-Man.
That'd be, that's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe Mel Gibson can play him. And there we go. There's Mountain Marko looking like the Hulk, but not green.
If Mel Gibson started working out.
Wow.
Mel Gibson's pretty buff, man. He's like, I don't know, 70, and they had him playing the Santa Claus in a movie called like
what was
Fat
it?
Man.
Yeah, the Fat Man.
He was all like muscular. I was like, I thought
but he's not like Hulk size muscular. Like he needs to be like Mr. Universe Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like big.
But that's because Mountain Marko was using some steroids. But let's get a little ahead because now we go to when you guess. If any of you want to guess there, Tim, you know a little bit more about Mountain Marko. We were talking about.
I don't know his origin though.
I don't either. I don't listen to it or read a thing you say about the character because of the fact once I do, it's going to change my perception of him.
Oh yeah. So Jamie, what do you think is the story behind Mountain Marko?
So he was born in the mountains as a man. To start, raised by yaks. As a small child, he was abandoned.
Keep going.
His only means of survival to get that big was protein from bugs, and lifting heavy trees.
I'm envisioning this in movie form. Go on.
Yes.
Starring Mel Gibson.
Starring Mel Gibson. That Mad Max Mel Gibson, that dude was a little punk. I'm talking about Fat Man.
Payback.
Payback Mel Gibson. There we go. Payback Mel Gibson.
I was gonna say Signs, but okay.
You know what, Sonny? Here's your sign. But no, he is traveling the world with his yak family. Finally breaking out, telling them that he needs to go on an adventure and see the world. And they agreed, but they went with him, and they were killed by somebody that Spider-Man was chasing.
Who was Spider-Man chasing?
The Yak 5.
More effortless.
Yeah. So after his family was brutally murdered by the Yak 5, it's like it couldn't have gotten any worse for him, but he turned to a life of crime to kill Spider-Man, to get his revenge, almost like Uncle Ben, and that is Mountain Marko.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Well, there we go on Mountain Marko. So I have a little bit of history of the guy. I'm reading some from Marvel.fandom, but some of it, just shortening it so everybody doesn't have to hear me read for a long, long time. But Mountain Marko is 6'11". He is 270 pounds. He is a human mutated by Magia and Fist scientists. He's also a steroid user. He was a bodyguard, a terrorist, a criminal, a former government agent. That's when he worked for Norman Osborn. He was also a singer. Okay.
Ooh.
He's a high school dropout.
No.
Yep. His base of operations was in Blackthorn Prison. And, maybe I'll get down to his prison time a little bit later. But yeah, so his first appearance was in The Amazing Spider-Man number 73 in 1969. Wow. One thing Mountain Marko was known, one thing he said was, well, when the meat wagon comes to pick up what's left of you, tell him it was Mountain Marko who stomped you into the floor. I'm guessing that's when he was fighting Spider-Man. But yeah, Mountain Marko was a street thug, a gangbanger living in New York. And one day he thought he saw some teenager he can just beat up pretty easily. But it was Peter Parker, Spider-Man. So
not so easy.
Peter was going through a lot with Aunt May was being sick, so he didn't even take the time. He just basically quickly took care of Mountain Marko. Yeah, basically just swatted him away. It wasn't much of a fight. So that got Mountain Marko to join Magia, and then, got those superpowers, became super strong. He was also a steroid user. And then again, he took on Spider-Man, and no surprise, again, he lost. But eventually, this guy has been around. He's been arrested. He's been in prison. And one thing that was known for happening was that Timmy and I were talking about this earlier, was Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Found Mountain Marko in prison.
Well, he went to prison on purpose to get to him.
Yeah. And savagely beat him and blinded Mountain Marko.
Yeah.
So Mountain Marko is a bit blind.
You don't mess with Moon Knight, bro.
Yeah.
And he even said that. He's like, no matter where you go, Marko, I will find you. And this is a reminder that I will see everything that you won't. Took him out.
That is right. He's even fought in with the Heroes for Hire. He even, managed to defeat Luke Cage using, some kind of electricity, but obviously Iron Fist later took him out. And one thing about Mountain Marko, like I said, we know he's a criminal. He works for the mobs. Yeah. Obviously now he's blind from Moon Knight. But one thing a lot of people don't know about him is that Mountain Marko, let's see, he has superhuman strength, superhuman stamina. Marko's muscles generate less fatigue toxins than the muscles of ordinary humans, granting him superhuman stamina, superhuman durability. Also, yes, he's a steroid user, and he did become addicted to steroids. And yeah, but a lifetime of abuse has destroyed his liver. Yep, he was blinded by Moon Knight, but here's one thing that I think will surprise many people. Is it get a little bit more on the mature level, but Marko at one point implied that he has committed or would at least be willing to engage in necrophilia.
Ooh.
Yes. While trying to fatally strangle Jessica Jones, he said, best part of these work for hire gigs is that after I'm done with you here, I don't have to hand you over. after I'm done with you, I can take your lifeless body out somewhere remote and I can do whatever I want to you. Then you'll really find out why they call me Mountain Marko.
That has nothing to do with necrophilia at all, his name.
Oh, yeah, his name had nothing to do with it, yeah. but yeah, so we know he's pretty sick. And yeah, he also has multiple kids that he doesn't see.
We are in the dark depths of the Codex podcast,
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen. Dark depths.
His wife was on the run from him.
God.
So, Mountain Marko, all around bad guy. And do you think this bad guy who is into some pretty nasty stuff can get out of the F list?
No, he will always be on the F list.
No, he's never gonna escape it, no matter how strong or how many steroids he injects into his butt.
He can't even see anymore, so
yeah. Guys, I think he possibly can. I think you'll take away the necrophilia stuff yet. He's gotta not mention that again. But with his work, I think he can just be kind of a strong man for somebody, like not be so embarrassing. If he tries to take
Hammerhead or Tombstone.
Exactly. That's his perfect place. Be a bodyguard, but he can't take the lead on being a villain. Keep him as a bodyguard, and you can kind of just, there's Mountain Marko.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely not a lead, and he should be kept away from all those dead bodies because he's Mountain Marko is a sick man.
Yes,
he is our F-lister for this week.
There you go.
Any last minute comments?
No.
Nah, I'm good. Well, actually, Sonny, do you know?
Are we leaving Mountain Marko alone, but not with dead bodies? We're just leaving him.
Yes, we're gonna put him in a black cell and never see him again.
all alone.
all alone.
So goodbye to Mountain Marko. And now it's time. You were gonna ask me something, Jamie.
Oh yeah, do you know, Sonny, where we can get these comics for cheap at a discounted price?
Heroes Corner Comics.
Yeah, go to heroscornercomics.com and guys, give them a big old gander because of the fact that they have so much going right now too as well. Definitely, they got you set up your subscription with them.
Mm-hmm.
They have all back issues, exclusives. They even got a codex bundle going on right now, which is 3 Heroes Corner Comics exclusives. I'm pretty sure at this point the mystery box is done. I don't think they're doing one this month. I think they're doing one next, if I'm not mistaken. But if you want to save yourself 20%, go to their website and use the code X, CODEX, no hyphen, and save yourself 20% on your order. And it does work with the codex bundle as well.
Yes.
Not with the mystery box, unfortunately.
Yeah, Heroes Corner Comics, guys, awesome and amazing.
Yes,
always
packaged very well, shipped very fast.
Yeah, Louis, the whole team, they are great.
Yeah, I say check out some comics, get yourself some comics there, and you could learn some things, in case you're ever in a game of Do You Know?
Ooh, like we are right now.
That is right.
And Tim, you're starting off this week.
Yep.
Hey, all right. So, Jamie, I don't think I have you this week, but Sonny, I'm pretty confident I've got your number. All right. So, the issue that we are reviewing today is Brave and the Bold number 197, right? It has to do with Earth 2. So that
I thought it was 198.
Oh, well.
Oh, God.
So at least that wasn't the question. So
there goes Jamie.
Jamie has left. And he accidentally brought himself back in.
So my first question has to do with Earth 2. Do you know, gentlemen, in what issue is Earth 2 officially established in the DC Comics universe?
The Flash 123.
You're looking a little too smug there, Sonny. Jamie, what about you?
Because he's right.
Is that what you're going with, or are you going to change?
It's the Flash of Two Worlds. It's the first appearance with Jay Garrick on the cover.
That is correct, gentlemen. The Flash number.
Yeah, I went more in detail, Sonny, so it didn't look like I was stealing from you.
Well, yeah, you know the cover, everything, yeah.
The Flash number 123 came out in September 1961. Jamie, it is the Flash of Two Worlds. That is where Earth 2 is officially established for the Golden Age superheroes.
Yes,
We're
it's
on the
that
board,
split down the
Jamie.
middle saying I'm the Flash, and
Yep.
he's like I'm the Flash too, and they're running towards you off the pan.
Yepers. Good job, guys. 1 point each.
At least we're on the board, you know.
Yeah. Now it is my turn. So we all know that the DCEU has ended with Shazam. We're moving into the DCU where some things are going to be canon from old stuff and some stuff we're just getting rid of. But speaking of Shazam, do you know who was the first actor to play Shazam in the original TV series?
No. Come on. Shoot.
Definitely Adam West.
I'm gonna go with Adam West. Burt Ward. That's my choice. Burt Ward.
Yeah, no, it's Michael Gray. Michael Gray was the first person to helm both Billy Batson and Shazam as his characters. They thought they could play it off, but a 30-year-old teenager just doesn't work, I guess, in today's society. Back then it did.
Even Netflix will still agree that a 30-year-old can play a high schooler.
Yeah. With enough makeup.
Yeah. And yeah, that was an old show then, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually, I believe, the first DC TV series. Like actual like live action. I think you're muted, bud.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Technical difficulties are always fun here at the Codex Station.
Oh, he's gone.
I believe Tim can hear us still. Not Timothy. Yeah, okay. So if you want to ask your question, go for it until he gets back in.
Okay, then. Since we're reviewing The Raven and Bold, and it deals with Batman and Catwoman, I thought I'd dive into a little bit of romance from The Dark Knight. So my question for all of you, do you know who was Batman's first fiancée?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Linda something. Linda, that's what I'm going with.
I'm trying to remember her last name. He's right. Oh my God. I always want to say Carter every time I think of Linda. But it's not. But it's Linda. Shit.
That is not her last name.
That's her last name.
Yeah, because he kept saying her name. Oh, well, he kept saying Linda like 37,000 times. But he only said her last name once. I know how they broke up.
Linda Goldberg. That's her name.
Yeah, Linda Goldberg. No, I'm just gonna go with Linda because that's my only answer I can give right now.
Yeah.
Guys, ready? As much as he did mention a past relationship with Linda Page, Batman's first fiancée was Julie Madison.
Oh.
Julie Madison is mentioned in this issue. And Julie Madison's first appearance was in Detective Comics 31 back in 1939.
That was my next question.
Julie Madison's first appearance. Dang. Yeah. So Batman's first fiancée was Julie Madison.
All right. Okay. So 1 point each for you and Sonny. Jamie, I have 0. Big fat 0. Yep, there we go. So question number 2. Sticking with some Crisis and some Secrets. Gentlemen, which came first? Crisis on Infinite Earths or Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars?
I'll say Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Which one was published first?
Which one came out first? Yes.
Oh, fuck. Secret Wars.
Jamie, you are correct. Sonny, you are wrong. Secret Wars came out first. It came out in May of 1984, and Crisis came out in April of 1985, though Crisis, I think, was conceptualized first.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had the idea first. That's why I was asking about published.
Yeah.
Because if it was the idea of it, it was Crisis.
Yeah, but Secret Wars came out a full year and 1 month before Crisis hit store shelves.
Well, Tim, this nice question I think he got in the bag. And I think Sonny too, maybe. If Sonny's been studying up on his Venom. So it is the summer of the symbiotes. We're getting ready to kick off with Extreme Venomverse, the whole Carnage Reigns line. But do you know who was the first host of the symbiote toxin? Maybe you guys won't get this.
The symbiote toxin.
Yes.
I'm
Like Eddie Brock is the first host of Venom. Cleus Cassidy is the first host of Carnage. Who's the first host of Toxin?
I want to go ahead, Sonny.
I'll just say Shriek.
Wasn't it whoever the Scorpion is, or Ed Garrett? No, I don't know then.
No, he was actually in the movie that you hated, Tim. At the end, he was the cop Patrick Mulligan.
Oh, okay.
And then
I
later,
was thinking of a whole different character.
It was Eddie Brock that took over the second time.
There you go. God, I'm doing horrible this week.
All right.
All right, Sonny.
Okay, so now it is on to me. All
I
right.
need 1 point.
We were talking about relationships. We were talking
It's
about
all right, Sal.
ladies.
Better to be late than never show.
Good to always have your Sal. All right, guys. So my question for you: do you know who was the vampire Batman dated?
Vampirella?
That's the first name that came into my head, but hopefully she was a bloodsucker.
Yeah, there you go.
Vampire. I don't know. Talia al Ghul is a vampire.
Okay, the answer was the vampire Batman dated was Nocturna. Also, her real name was Natalia Knight, and she was in Detective Comics 529 for 1983. But yes, she was a vampire that Batman dated.
There you go.
So there you go. Batman dated a vampire.
My date with the
vampire Batman.
Okay, moving on.
Round 2 in the books.
Question number 3, my last question. I think both of you are going to get this. So, gentlemen, with Marvel and DC, they have crossed over many, many, many times. But do you know what the first Marvel and DC crossover was with characters from both companies?
Is it like an event or just one specific issue? Or
what was the first crossover that involved licensed characters from Marvel and DC?
I'm just going to go with the Amalgam Universe.
I'm just going to say Superman and Spider-Man.
Sonny, can you be a little more specific on the title name?
It's Superman versus Spider-Man.
Is that your answer, Jamie?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct. Sonny, you're right, too.
There we go.
I'll let you have it.
Superman versus Spider-Man. There you go.
Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man came out in March of 1976. However, that was not the first time the two companies had worked together. They had worked together the previous year on a Wizard of Oz book that had come out that both of them worked together on.
So, Jamie, we teamed up and we did that one together.
Yeah, that was a point for us.
There you go. Yeah. So that's all I got.
Okay. Well, for those who don't know, we did have the incredible A.L. Kaplan back for another interview. That video should be up here shortly, edited, ready to go. We do know he did work with R.L. Stine on stuff of Nightmares. So my question is, guys, do you know what was R.L. Stine's first published book?
Comic or novel?
It's not a comic.
I'm just going to say, I'm probably wrong, but I'm just going to go with Goosebumps #1.
Goosebumps, The Revenge of Slappy. How about that?
It was actually, because you're both wrong.
Of course.
It was actually a children's book called How to Be Funny.
Oh, amazing.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah. You went from How to Be Funny to How to Scare you before to go to bed.
Nice.
I like
That's
the
the way to do it.
self-censorship there.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Sonny, give me a question
No.
I can get a point on.
Okay, we will see.
What is Batman's real name?
Clark Kent.
Clark Griswold.
So, guys, we're still on the Brave and the Bold. So, my question for you all is, do you know which series replaced the Brave and the Bold?
The Outsiders.
What series replaced the Brave and the Bold? New Teen Titans.
So, Tim, I'm still going to give you the point because it's technically considered like Batman and the Outsiders, but it was changed to, it did become the Outsiders. So those does go together, yeah.
So
you got your point?
I get a sympathy point for that?
I would give it, because it was Batman and the Outsiders for 46 issues, but the last couple years, it was just called The Outsiders. So technically, if you look
One
them
of
up,
the
yeah.
one of the best DC series I ever read was The Outsiders, that had Arsenal and Nightwing in it, and
Yeah.
Metamorpho. That whole series was amazing.
Well, there you go, guys. I think it went 3 for Jamie, 2 for me, and then 1 for Tim. 3,
Yep.
2, 1, or 1, 2, 3.
There
So
we
there you go. We
go.
all got on the board today. Good game, guys.
Except Jamie was superior.
Yeah, very much so. Jeez.
See, I'm not like
You
Sonny.
got it.
I'm just not gonna cast out the name of what it is. I'm gonna add more so it doesn't look like I'm cheating.
I am not above doing the Price is Right, taking the $1 approach.
I wasn't going to. I knew it was exactly that issue, but I'm like, I don't want to say it because now it sounds like I'm just copying off Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny, I'll
know the name.
copy your work.
We're all good. And then, too, we worked together on that Superman versus Spider-Man. So
There you go.
So I'd say a good game. Way better than the last one we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a good game. We'll leave it at that. Do you know in the books? And of course, we'll be back with more Do You Know next week. But now we move on to our review. And if you saw, I got this because I was so excited about the issue we were reviewing, and that is The Brave and the Bold 197, the autobiography of Bruce Wayne. So I'm Sonny. Of course, today Jamie and Tim will be reviewing this story with me, and as usual, Tim will start us off with the credits.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Brave and the Bold number 197 is written by Alan Brennert. Artwork and inks go to Joe Staton and George Freeman. Letters to John Costanza, and colors to Adrian Roy.
Okay, I'll give us a little run through of this story. This is on Earth 2, and Batman/Bruce Wayne is writing his autobiography. So it brings us into this story where Jim Gordon sees Batman. It looks like Batman's about to attack him, but it's not. Batman's just there to see him, and it's because he got a doll, and that doll is from the Scarecrow. That's why he was seeing a fear that Batman would turn bad. So then we go, Batman says he'll go after the Scarecrow. Then we see Bruce Wayne at the wedding of Linda Page, and they're talking, and Bruce is saying, he's thinking that his whole life, being Batman, it's cost him relationships with Linda, back with his ex Julie, and then Linda's about to get married, and then who ruins it? None other than the Scarecrow. Again, with his toxins, he's making everyone see fears. He's making them afraid of spiders, yet he's throwing actual spiders at them. But suddenly, Batman is with Robin and Batwoman, and suddenly, Batman gets a bit of fear, and it is that Robin is disappearing, then Batwoman is disappearing. So Batman says, I'll get them even if it means my life to save them. So he even calls Lois Lane, he calls the Kents, just probably to speak to, Superman or Lois, but he can't hear Lois on the other line. She's like, hello, Batman, but, because of the toxin, he can't, again, it's his fear is that he loses his loved ones. So he says, maybe I could find an enemy. So he finds Selena Kyle, and she's trying to live a different life, but he convinces her to put on the old Catwoman outfit to help him, and she agrees to do it. So they go after the Scarecrow, and they come across this huge lion, and Catwoman, she uses some gas and knocks out the lion, but she's very kind to it. She makes sure it's very nice, and Batman is definitely paying attention to this. And as they go after the Scarecrow, he's got all these, different tricks and everything after them, and a crossbow shooting an arrow that's on fire goes at Catwoman, and Batman jumps in the way, and he gets stabbed in his back with it. And then this is what leads to a very interesting conversation between Catwoman and Batman, and she sees his scars, and he says, it goes with the job, after 15 years.
Yeah, all
And
that
then-
major scar tissue on his back.
Oh, yeah. And then the two ask, she says, why do you do it? And he even says, for some reason, I opened up, and Batman opens up, and he tells Catwoman why he did it, and his parents dying and wanting to avenge them and fight crime. And then eventually they continue their chase for the Scarecrow. And then Catwoman opens up about her past. Batman finds out, wait a minute, you said when you came up with the character of Catwoman, I thought you had amnesia. And she tells that, she was in an abusive relationship, and then, she became Catwoman. She stole, the rich, her rich jerk ex's stuff, and then she just started to fall in love with being this different person. And even Batman says, when I kind of became Batman, I pretty much gave up my old life. and then the two embrace, but then it is interrupted by the Scarecrow, and he uses toxins now so that Batman is afraid of Catwoman, and that Catwoman is afraid of Batman. So Catwoman says, all we got to do is take off the masks.
Mhm.
And then Batman, he's saying, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. And then he does. And that is where I will stop my run through of this story, of this one shot that I heard was, on many lists of one of the best one shots ever. So I was interested in reading it, interested in us reviewing it. And for me, I absolutely loved this story. I loved the romance between Batman and Catwoman. I love, just the whole story from beginning to end. It picks up right away. It shows you the more of the vulnerable side of Batman, not just he's so tough and he gets through everything. Even the fact that the Scarecrow gets away, it is different. Like, we're not used to seeing that. And even Catwoman says, you'll get him. This is more important. And I think this is one of the most romantic comics I've ever read. And one part that definitely meant a lot to me at the end was, I think, one of the best things I've ever read in any kind of book was that Batman, as he's writing his biography, he says, but I have long since given up trying to find meaning in death. The meaning is in life, not death. And for me, that as somebody, I think about death a lot. As you can tell in my books, they all have something with death in their names. I think about death a lot, so that means a lot to me. Like he said, to think about life, not death. And for me, this is one of my favorite one shots. I think this is worth the hype. And guys, I give The Brave and the Bold 197, the autobiography of Bruce Wayne, 10 out of 10. I've already revisited this story multiple times, and I definitely recommend anybody checks out this story. And now, what do you guys think of this Batman tale? Tim,
Jamie,
would
I
you like
think
to
Go for it,
go
Tim.
first?
you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So I love
Because I don't even think we're on the same.
I love the story. I thought it was really good. Like I said to you before, Sonny, I watched a video essay about this issue like about a month ago or something like that, and that really intrigued me to want to read it when you recommended this. That's why in our chat I was like, yes, I want to read this. So I love the story. I thought it was a fitting end for Earth 2's Batman. I thought it was perfect. It really shored up a lot of things. The artwork was very good. It was solid. And I believe that it was it's as fresh today as anything else that's in modern comic books. Maybe even a little more so. I thought it was absolutely amazing. As far as the story goes, it seemed that it was rushed in some spots. And I think that kind of detracted from the story just a little bit. But it didn't take away from the story too much. Not enough to pull me out of the suspense and everything that was going on. But I think that it was just like going from here to here to here to here, and things were just kind of rushed and moved along. I know they only have 28 to 32 pages, but if they would have done maybe a little bit more, I think that would have made things.
Maybe like a multiple part story.
No,
arc.
not even that. Just give it a 48 page, right? Make it a
Okay.
double issue or something like that. I thought that would have been perfect. But even so, with the page count that it was, the story was fitting, and for the panel space that they had, they did an amazing job. So artwork overall, that is what really captured me with this. So that gets a very well-deserved 9 out of 10. Very happy with the artwork. Joe Staton, George Freeman, and colors by Adrian Roy. Absolutely amazing. I think that was the peak of this book. Writing was a little bit down there. That was a 7, but that's not bad. 7's very solid. It was very well told. It was an amazing story. Paced really well. The only issue I had was that it pulled you out a little bit because there were just some parts that were incredibly rushed through. So overall, this gets a big 8 out of 10 from me.
Okay, now 10 for me, 8 for Tim. Jamie, I'm curious to see what you think.
All right. So over the years of reading Batman, if this was the first instance of a Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne interaction, I'd be over the moon. I'd be right there with you guys. But unfortunately, I've seen this one too many times. From the injuries on his back, the scarring, to talking about, her past life, to his past life, to him finally opening up to her. all of that. I mean, we just had not even 2 years ago the Tom King wedding between Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne that never happened. So we've seen this iteration of things before. This felt a lot more lackluster to me than all of the other ones. I will say, big pro is I did like how Scarecrow manipulated and had special toxins for each fear, rather than him just be like fear gas, and then they're like, oh no, a bat.
Yeah, he named all of them. Yeah, he
I'm
learned some
afraid of
new words.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used the right words, the right terminology for each one, and he had each one ready to go. So I thought that was cool. I thought the idea of Batman forgetting everybody was a great concept. I really did like that, and having to take the mask off for them to see who they truly were was a great way to go about it. I do got to agree with you, Tim. I thought the artwork was the thing that shined in here. The colors popped, everything worked well together. Unfortunately for me, the writing aspect of it was just too dull and didn't push the pace like I thought it would. And I'm not saying it as an action kind of comic or anything like that, but to me, it just felt like now everything's just been copy and paste since then. So with this overall, I'm giving it a 6.5.
6.5, but way different from all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely, I'd recommend it if this is your first instance into getting to know Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne's romance to start. Other than that, that's the really only way I could fit that into someone's scheme of things. Like it wouldn't make sense. You have so many iterations of it already past that there's other ones you can go with.
The one thing I can
you would
say
go with the newer ones as well, because I don't
not
know.
just
Have
the
there been
newer
ones
one.
before this, or was this?
Yeah,
before?
there's been this was the first, I believe, from what my research I saw. But for this, I would say that this is a good iteration if you're jumping on to that point.
Yeah.
If you've already read it, I wouldn't go back to it unless you're really interested in to understand why.
Like the one thing I can say about this book is that at the time that it came out, the tension was there between the two, but they just, like, aside from like Elseworld stuff, which this I guess is because it's Earth 2, but that relationship was just a fantasy at that time, and to see it actually work with the Golden Age Batman and the Golden Age Catwoman in an issue of Brave and the Bold, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. Who is that Facebook user that I need to throw out?
Yeah, I know. Who I feel like that's Tone. Just the way he spelt my name.
What do you say?
He put I co-signed with JW illustrated bug balls. Yep, it was Tone. Hey, buddy.
Oh,
Tone, come back so we could fire you.
Oh my god.
But like,
I'd never fire Tone. Tone fires himself.
But guys, like I said, that is why we like to review things to get different opinions. Like I said, so the Brave and the Bold, 197, the Autobiography of Bruce Wayne. Jamie gives it a 6.5. Tim gives it an 8 out of 10, and I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, it wouldn't. If this was like the first iteration, I had to have someone sit down and read a Selena Kyle and Batman, like Bruce Wayne story, I'd gear them towards this. But if they already have read it, I'd give them different opinions on what's current.
Yeah, and like I said, because
rather than
you've read the current stuff, like I said, how in your opinion, you've seen newer versions of this,
Yeah, with the same aspect, like with everything that they were talking about, like I said, the injuries on his back, how he be like, why he has that internal struggle of not caring, all that kind of stuff. So,
right on, that's
there
fair.
Very interesting review of today, The Brave and the Bold, 197, the Autobiography of Bruce Wayne. And then on our next review will be the one Tim picked out, and that is Secret War.
Hang on, I got it right here.
Oh, don't hurt yourself.
It's okay. I'm old. I'll spring back. Secret War.
There you go. Secret War. We will be reviewing that on our next episode of the Codex podcast. And guys, I think we can wrap this thing up unless there's any last minute comments you guys got to say.
I'm glad we all got to get together today.
I'm glad. I'm glad we were all brave and bold, and we made it to this episode. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I will see you all more episodes of the Codex podcast, and now I will let these two wrap this episode up.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget we are on all the socials. All you got to do is type in at the Codex Station, and that is where you will find us. Your favorite social media platform, where you're watching this live stream right now. Make sure to hit the like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, so that way we can start bringing and continue to bring more awesome long form content like this to you all the time. Every time. Don't forget, we also have a website, ladies and gentlemen, that is thecodexstation.com for all your codex needs. All you got to do is head over there, get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Like Jamie said earlier, it is getting updated to something more awesome than it already is. So check it out often and regular. My name is Tim. This beautiful guy over here is Jamie. Down below is the immortal Sonny Kruger. This is the Codex Podcast, and I will see you next time.
Yes, and guys, as he said, there's a lot more coming for the Codex Station itself, so be ready for it and all the changes that we made so far. But as always, guys, you never know what anyone's going through out there. You never know what battle anyone's fighting. So even making someone smile can change the course of their day or life. So always be kind. And we will see you in the next one.